recording about the web client for your new phone system at Sand Hills Community College. So you will receive a welcome email that's going to look very similar to the one here. It'll say, welcome to Tricom Voice, and give you some information about your extension. So there'll be an option to click to either log in directly to the client or set a password, depending on whether you're one of the users that we have the Office 365 sync set up with. Once you click this link, it will take you to either the page to set a password for yourself or the login page. If you end up on the login page, you'll simply hit the Microsoft login and use your Microsoft credentials to log in. It will also have some information about your account. It'll tell you what your extension number is. It's going to give you the URL for the web client. That would be the same place this link will go to. It will also tell you about checking your voicemail using the voicemail code, and then it will give you your voicemail PIN code. This is randomly generated when your extension is created. You can change it as a user through the dial-in menu. There'll be instructions on that on the website. But to begin with, you will have to access your voicemail using the PIN code in here. And it will also give you some information about the click-to-talk links and your personalized meeting space. There'll also be information down here about the iOS and Android app, which I'll talk about at the tail end of this training. Okay, so we're going to say that I have gone in and set my password, and it will bring you to a login page that looks a page that looks just like this. So the very first thing you'll see when you log into the web client is instructions about the 3CX app. 3CX has a companion iOS and Android app for your mobile device if it's something you're interested in. You simply go to the iOS or Android store and install the application first. If you scan this QR code before installing the application, it will take you nowhere. So once you have installed the application, it'll take you past the permissions screen and then ask you to scan your QR code. This QR code is specific to your user, so you wouldn't want to scan the one from this training video because you'd be Tricom support. But once you get to the scanning page, if for some reason it does not work, you want to hit this little refresh icon and then scan it again. One scan is for each provisioning, okay? Right. Let me switch over so you can see everybody. So I am currently viewing everyone on the phone system now in the 3CX client. So there are a couple of housekeeping things to show you first before I show you call control. But you'll see over here on the left-hand side, there are two indicator icons here. So this little blue bell is the notifications. So if you are one of those that wants to be able to use your computer as a phone, wants to be able to see when it is ringing, have it make noises, you would want to go and click this bell and give your computer permission. So I'm going to hit allow, and now I can actually use my computer to make and receive calls. Okay. The other option is this guy right here. So you'll see there is if you click on this link, it will talk about the native PWA app. So what that does is it takes this web page, and instead of it being nested in your browser, as it currently is, it would break it out and make it be its own separate application. So you'll see this is my Tricom one here, and instead of it being nested in the browser, it actually auto launches for me every day and is available for me at any point. So completely up to you what you want to use, but the options are to just use it as a web page here and bookmark your page, or install the PWA app, and then that will auto launch for you every day. All right. Other things on the left-hand side. So I'll work my way through the team and the chat and the meets in just a moment, but I'm going to start with the settings on the client. So when you click on this little gear here, it's going to take you into settings. You'll see I have a Tricom picture here, and you'll see in your team, there are many people that already have pictures added to the system. We are attempting to do the Microsoft Sync for you. So if you have a picture saved in your Microsoft instance, it will auto-populate into here. And then anything you set in here will get overridden by your Microsoft. But if you're one of those ones who are not Microsoft synced, you can go in and upload an image, and that image would be your profile picture in the client here. Again, this is not outward facing, it's just for anybody on the Sand Hills system to see. Okay, right. Other options inside of here, this section where it says mobile, this would be where you could put a mobile number in here. I caution you though, if you put a mobile number in the system, it is searchable for anyone in the team field. So if I were to go click on Abby, for instance, if she had a mobile number, it would be in here for me to be able to dial the mobile number. Okay, so we'll put Tricom's one in there so you can see what that looks like. And now if I were to look for Tricom, and hit here, you'll see call mobile is an option because I added a mobile number in. Okay. You'll also be able to see your default language. You can change it if you like. You can also set a theme for your client. So you'll see here, I'm currently set to the system default, which is light, but if I wanted to be in the dark theme, I could switch it over. It also shows you the voicemail number there, and then I can actually unmask my voicemail PIN code. I cannot change it from here. That only can be done in the dial-in menu or by an administrator, but I can view it if I've forgotten it. There's also links here to your talk URL and your meet URL, which I'll talk about in just a moment. The other option is that QR code. So if you dismiss that message and you decide down the line that you want to scan the QR code and get the app working, it's always available in your settings. It's also available up in the top right-hand corner here of your client. Call forwarding. So this gives you the ability as an end user to control what your phone does. By default, phones ring for 20 seconds, which is about 4 to 5 rings, and then go to voicemail. But you can actually control that yourself as an end user. So you'll see I could say, we want it to ring for 12 seconds before it goes to my voicemail. Or I need more time. I'm going to make it 30 seconds before it goes to voicemail. You can also change the destination. So say you are someone who has a secretary that checks your voicemails for you and you want to just forward it straight to them. You could forward calls to a different extension number. You could set it to ring on your desk phone 25 times and then ring an outside number. And you can control what happens for both internal calls and external calls. And then there's also this option down here, which is busy or not registered. That means if your phone is offline for any reason, it would forward to the destination you put in here. One thing to keep in mind, if you add a mobile number to the system and you check this Ring My Mobile box, it will simultaneously ring your mobile and your desk phone. If you are going to be one of the users that wants to use the mobile application, though, you would not want to check this Ring My Mobile. The mobile application is automatically going to ring once you have it installed. This Ring My Mobile is actually forwarding it to your cell phone. So what would happen if you checked this box is it would try to ring your cell phone number and your mobile app at the same time. Your phone would get very confused and send everyone to voicemail. So it is an either or. You're either going to ring my mobile or you're going to use the application. Okay. And then this was just the available settings, but you could do this for any of your different availability states. You could adjust away, do not disturb, lunch, business trip. There is also a section here for scheduling. So you'll see you can actually set your extension to automatically toggle between available and do not disturb based on a schedule. So I can say I want to use the default office hours, or in this case, I'll select specific office hours. I can say, from Monday through Friday, I'm going to say from 9 to 5. We'll say Monday, Tuesday from 9 to 5. I wanted to automatically switch me from available during my office hours. So this means that at 9 a.m. on Monday, if you called me, you would reach me. If you called at 8:59 a.m., though, it would go directly to my voicemail. This is helpful for those of you that are going to install the mobile app that may possibly be teaching or have hours where you do not want your phone to ring. You can go through and set your traditional hours, and you can even set break hours. So you can say Monday through Tuesday from 9 to 5, but at 2 p.m. I have a class, so I do not want my phone to ring for that hour. And that would send people directly to your do not disturb route. Okay. Right below call forwarding is the 3CX talk link. So you'll see your link name will automatically populate, usually with your first and last name. So it takes this URL, both the talk and the meet URL, and adds it to the tail end. The difference between these two, this talk URL, you could copy and paste this into your signature line, and anyone could click that, and it would ring your desk phone. So basically, it becomes a direct dial number, but a direct dial number from the internet, meaning you don't need an actual phone to call you. The meet URL does the same thing, only instead of it going to your phone, it goes to your meeting room, which we'll talk about in a little bit. One thing I do say, if you're going to use this meet URL and put it anywhere, you'll definitely want to check this box. So you have to approve a participant before they join. Similar to Teams, it puts them in a lobby until you, the administrator, let them in. The system also has chat incorporated in it. You all are a Microsoft shop. You've got Teams, so you probably won't use it. But if for some reason you decided to, this would be where you control the little pop-up message and then whether it makes a noise. Audio video. So this guy right here is controlling what your phone is doing at the time. So you'll see I actually have a phone connected to my client, but if I wanted to use the browser as my phone, this would be where I select the audio path. I would say my ringer is my speakers. And my audio video, this is where I'm talking, would be the microphone that I have attached to it. Okay. View. You won't use anything in view. This is just basically which departments you want to see. If for some reason you have visibility into some of the departments that you don't need to see on a regular basis, you can uncheck the box next to it. Right below that is greetings. So if you watch the other training video where we talked about how to access your voicemail, it said that we would talk about how you could do so in the web client. Super easy to do. To upload a new greeting, you have a couple of different options. You can do it from your computer itself if you have a microphone attached. If I were to hit this little icon here, I could give the file a name. And then I could record a test greeting. And when I'm ready, I upload it. And you'll see I now have that test.wave file available for me to select, or I could make it ring by desk phone. If I were to hit this button right here and call it test 2, it's going to ring the phone I have sitting on the desk here. Test voicemail greeting, test voicemail greeting, test voicemail greeting. And now if I were to refresh this little browser here, I will have access to that test 2 greeting that I just recorded. So nice thing about it is that when you record greetings from the web client, you have the ability to give them names. If you record it from your physical phone, if you just dial in and do the dial in menu, everything just comes across as save voicemail greeting. So there's no way to really indicate the different greetings and be able to switch them on or off very easily. So I recommend using the web client for voicemail greetings. It makes it super simple. And then these greetings are all of your greetings based on your availability status. So if I have nothing selected in any of these, it just says play default. Whatever I've selected as my default greeting will play for all of them. But say I was going on vacation and I wanted to put myself in away during that time and play a different greeting, I could do so. Simply by hitting that and then switching my status, whatever I have selected in that away greeting would be the greeting that plays. Okay. All right, integrations you guys won't use, BLFs. So if you were on the phone training or watched the phone training video, it talked about how you can customize the buttons on your phone. So you'll probably remember from this, I showed you all that you have those 2 line keys up at the top and the 2 shared parking keys. Down on the bottom right-hand side of the phone is where your little additional buttons are programmed. So you'll see on here that very first button is a busy lamp field for Donald, and then my second button is a custom speed dial button. So the difference between these 2 types of buttons is these BLF buttons are users on the phone system. And the busy BLF stands for busy lamp field. This means when Donald is on an active phone call, his button will light up red, so I'll know that he is unavailable. It will also flash when he is ringing. But if you do not want that option, you actually do have the option to just do a speed dial. So if I hit speed dial, it will pull up anyone on the phone system. I could select them, and I would not get that indicator light that I get for Donald. By default, most users do both busy lamp fields and custom speed dials. So busy lamp fields would just be selecting someone from the list, and then a custom speed dial looks like this. You put in a telephone number, and then give it a name. And then you would have a button on your phone for that. When you first log in, your buttons will just be simply the line keys and the shared parking keys. All of the rest of your buttons will be blank like this, and you'll be able to customize them. You'll see down below button number 10, there is an option to add more BLFs. If I hit that button right there, it's going to give me 10 more. You'll be able to continue adding buttons until you get to 34. There are 30 programmable buttons down on the bottom right-hand side of your phone. So you'll be able to add until then. It will allow you to continue adding above and beyond that, but it will only display the first 34. Okay. So on the team tab, I'm going to filter it down and show you. Right now, I'm viewing everybody on the phone system, but you will also have the ability up here on the top right-hand side to sort by location. We are still updating on our side, so you probably won't see all of the buildings. But if I were to click on Johnson Hall, it would just show me the extensions that are associated with Johnson Hall. Same if I were to switch over for Sand Hook. I'm going to keep just one of them. Small one available. All righty. The other piece that you can do on the system, and it's actually really nice as an end user, if you want to just have a handful of extensions that you view on a regular basis, you'll see next to a user, there is the option for a star. So if I were to go ahead and click on this star here, and this star here, and this one here, I could then toggle over to my favorites, and I would only see those extensions that I have selected. Doesn't mean you can't still search for him. Donald is not in my list here, but if I wanted to find him, I could just simply start typing in Donald's name and it would pull him up. But on a regular basis, you're typically only calling a handful of people. You may just want to be able to see their availability status in here. If you hover over a user, there's a couple of different options. You'll see there's the ability to call them. If I were to hit this button and call them, it's going to call them depending on which device I have selected for calls. So this browser application or web client has the ability to make and receive calls itself, or you can actually choose for it to control your desk phone. So that's what I've done now. I've switched it over to control my desk phone. If I were to hit this little icon here, it would take my phone off hook and I could still control it from the web client. Okay. Right next to that is the chat. So if I were to hit this button, it would start a chat with the user. And then right next to that is my favorites option. And then you'll see there are also 3 dots next to each of the users. This will give you more fields. Depending on your permissions levels will be what you see. In most cases, you're going to see intercom, leave a voicemail, video conference. Supervisors will also have the ability for this set status piece, which allows them to change someone from available to do not disturb. Okay. All right. The chat section. So if I were to come into this section here, I do not currently have any active chats, but you can create a new one just by hitting this plus button here and hit start chat. You could select someone from the list, and then you would just start the chat from there. Again, you guys are using Microsoft and Teams, so you're probably not going to be chatting in the client, but it is an available feature. Right below that is meetings. Again, you guys use Teams, so you probably won't need this. But the nice thing about this is that it is not a bossy program. So the 3CX's individual meeting is simply just a meeting link you'll see here. Often when you have users who are not in a Teams environment, they sometimes have a hard time connecting to Teams meetings. It wants them to install software or log in. The 3CX does not require that at all. Okay. Again, it's available if you all need it. And if you are interested in it, there is detailed instructions on the website about accessing the conferencing. We gave you all the links to use it if it's something you're interested in. Okay. Directly below that Meet link is calls. So this is your call logs. Just like on your desk phone, you can sort and see just my incoming calls, just my outgoing calls, or just my missed calls. And then from this menu, you could also call a user back. And then if they were a user on the phone system, you would have the ability to start a chat with them. Okay. Right. Directly below calls is the panel. You will not use this. This is more for call centers. It would just show callers waiting in queue. Right below that is contacts. So you'll see I've got a dummy contact that I built on the phone system already. But if I wanted to add another contact to the system, I could hit this little plus button right here and I could add a user. We're just going to call this test and we'll give it a telephone number. And we'll hit this little save icon. And now you'll see that one is available in the client for me to search. If I'm in the team tab, I can hit test and it will search for it. You can access it from anywhere. All right. Directly below contacts is voicemail. So you will see new voicemails as they appear in here. Let me leave one real quick. So we have one to you.
Record your message and then press pound.
Test voicemail message, test voicemail message, test voicemail message.
Message saved.
All right, so you'll see we have a new voicemail message here on the system. It will give us the date and the time of the message and the duration. You'll have the ability to download it, play it, or call it back. And then in addition, you will get a voicemail to email message with the WAV file attached. So you'll have access to it both here from the web client on your physical phone, and also you'll get the email with the WAV file. To listen to your message, you hit this little play button. It can ring on your phone. You can call it back or delete it. And the nice thing about it is this option here in the top left-hand corner. So say you have 4 or 5 messages and you've reviewed them all, you could hit this little button right here and bulk delete them all in one fell swoop. Okay. All right. So for those of you that may possibly want to use the web client to either control your calls or make a call, I'm going to show you what that looks like. Over here in the right-hand corner is the dialer. If you click that dialer right there, it's going to fly it out. And then from here, I can decide what I want to use for my calls. So I can say I want to use my browser or I want to use my physical phone. That's what I'm going to select for now. I can dial a number. And I'm going to mute myself on both sides so we don't get feedback. There we go. So now I have the options inside of here to conference someone, to transfer someone, to add a new call to it. I'm using the physical phone, so my hold icon is not active. I would have to hit the button on the phone for that. But if you were using the web client, you could also put someone on hold from here. If I wanted to start a transfer, it's as simple as clicking the transfer, and then I could type in the name of who I'm trying to transfer to. I could type a telephone number in to transfer it to. Same for conference or attended transfer. So the difference between these two are this transfer right here would be a blind transfer. So once I hit the transfer and dial the number, it would transfer that caller off. The attended transfer just gives you the ability to warn the caller first. And then there's also the option to record a call. This is just ad hoc recording. The recording doesn't start until you physically hit the button, and then it would just record the call until you hang it up or you hit that record button again. And then the very last option is to hang it up. So I could hang my handset up, or I could simply hit this little hang up button to hang up the call. In addition to that, in this dialer, you'll see there is a little fly out here over on the right-hand side. If I were to hit that button, I would have access to all the same buttons here that I have on my physical phone. Okay. I'm going to hang up this call. There we go. Right. And then the other options over here on the right-hand side. Again, there's that QR code again if I wanted to install the iOS or Android app. And then this guy right here is the most important thing. So these help guides are included on that website that they've shared with you, but you can always get to them from the web client as well. If you click right here, it's going to take you straight into the instructions for the web client. And then if you scroll down towards the bottom, it's going to give you links to other things you might want. The app for iOS, the app for Android, and also video conferencing, where we talked about how you'd have access to that as well. All right. Over here on the right-hand side, this is where you can change your status. If you click right here, you'll have the ability to set yourself to do not disturb, available, business trip, or lunch. You can also set your status temporarily. So if I were to click on this icon right here, I could say I'm going to be in do not disturb for 1 hour. And what would happen is after that hour timer ended, it would automatically flip me back to that available status. So I was able to receive calls again. The other options inside of here is another way to get to those settings. And then this guy right here will turn the ringer off. So say you are using your browser and you did not mean to give it permissions to make the noise, you can actually click on this and turn off the ringing. Okay. All right. And then the very last option is to log out of it. If you click that button right there, it would log you out of the client. And that about does it for the web client training. Thank you for joining.